Last week, the civil society sought the intervention of the Permanent Secretary to the Treasury, admitting that while paying tax is a civil obligation, the taxman's enforcement measures appear to be counterproductive.
But, Chair, when administration becomes unruly, then the pain increases. We've talked to our colleagues, and they have told us that EFRIS is hurting. The inability really to practice it is very slow. And we are asking ourselves whether there was any change management to prepare these small traders to apply EFRIS. And of course, I think you have already seen that some supermarkets have actually taken Uganda Revenue Authority to court to challenge them on the same subject matter. The non-intrusive technology claimed by URA is actually becoming extra intrusive. We have seen evidence of traders whose containers have been opened and goods have been damaged because the URA officer feels it's like a small god.
Today, the Small and Medium Enterprises Federation boss weighing in on the issues, pointing a finger at the Uganda Revenue Authority, saying the tax body should have put education ahead of harsh enforcement.
Now, government had been lenient a bit to say, let us work with the existing taxes. Let's not introduce anything new. And that was all right. Now, the challenge is, A, government is introducing new taxes. B, government is has introduced the EFRIS solution for VAT registered taxpayers, and that's very important. And it's a good gesture to have begun with VAT registered taxpayers. The only challenge is that URA has gone about enforcing it the wrong way. A, it has taken a confrontational and militaristic approach. 2, it has not focused on VAT registered tax. Instead, it has promoting EFRIS has turned into a VAT registration and compliance campaign. Okay. 3, they have involved other arms of state that have no business engaging traders. See, you can't bring police, you can't bring armament. This is trade order. You're talking about businesses. People are creating jobs. People are contributing to your resource envelope.
The URA is expected to collect more than 31 trillion shillings to fund the 2024-25 national budget, which surged 1.9 trillion shillings from 29.6 in the current financial year. Clearly, the taxman will be on pressure to meet high projections, with aspirations to have met its targets by the end of the financial year.
B, you must allow people to voluntarily register for value-added tax before you introduce EFRIS, because EFRIS is targeting VAT registered people. But you cannot push two things at a go. You're mandatorily registering people because the law gives you that leeway. They can look at Malcolm, they say, oh, or you look at him and they say, oh, you are likely to make 150 million. And then they mandatorily register. So, for me, that is part of the problem. They need to first educate people about value-added tax.
Government has not addressed issues of multiple and double taxation, which the chief executive says is unfair to traders, majority already struggling with the cost of doing business.
It's true, Chair, that when you are importing goods and services, URA sometimes gives you different values to base their tax. And this has created a room for bribes, because if you bring a container of shoes, sometimes they value the container at different rates.
Now, what has happened in our context, especially our taxation regime, is that you have people who earn a lot and still benefit from the most generous tax holidays, 10 years, 20 years, withholding tax exempt. Then it is these small people who should be receiving these incentives, again, who are bearing all the burden. Because at no point has URA gone into an investor's factory with armament.
On top of these targets, the tax agency was recently seeking additional funds from government, including 284 billion shillings for the development of an oil and gas monitoring system, over 30 billion shillings to establish a tax academy, and 28 billion shillings for disaster recovery, cybersecurity infrastructure, among other expenses. Malcolm Sime, NTV Tonight Business.